It's your oxygen or your life depends on it.
All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to attack. And how the DSS was able to identify and apprehend these suspects?
I am proud of the DSS.
We all are.
For the extent of work they've done on this matter. They've shown us that when they really want to do the job, they can do a quality job.
Absolutely.
These guys were tracked, and the DSS has sufficient information in terms of their movement, how they came together, to join that group, Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group, the places where they had their meetings, in Ogaminana. That was the headquarters of Adavi local government area of Kogi State. The terrorists themselves were from Kogi Central.
They had a cell.
Based on their names.
Okay, they had a cell.
Yes. From Kogi Central. There had been people from Kogi in Boko Haram for some time, so it's not really new. Some of us, even some of the people arrested in respect of the killing of Baba Fashiroti's daughter.
Okay.
One of them was also from Kogi Central.
Oh,
yes, Kogi. So they tracked them. After the meeting in Ogamnana, they had another meeting in Owo.
Okay.
Behind the mosque, where the attack was perfected. And then, using IEDs, AK-47, they killed more than 40 persons. And when you are told that more than 40 people killed, for God's sake, don't have the feeling that it's not more than 40.
Exaggerated.
Yes. For example, I just returned from Yelawata, the new killing field of Nigeria. That's the new killing field in our country, where so many people were killed that even the president was forced to go to Benue.
Yeah.
The account that the authorities give you is not what the people
on the field. Exactly.
When they saw, I arrived at that place a day after the killing of 3 persons.
Yes.
I went into the farm, the particular spot where those 3 persons were killed.
Oh dear.
I even saw some body parts still left. If you see it, you lose control. I spoke with people. What they tell me in terms of casualty figure is usually higher.
Yes, they thought to tell you.
So when you hear 40, it could actually be more than that. Yes, that's the point I'm making. So people who have chosen to take other people's lives in this manner, they deserve to be prosecuted, and the DSS is right on the money by putting these people on trial. Well, people can say, oh, it's taking so long, but they need to find cast iron evidence that will ensure that, yes, it's a prima facie case
and justice
that we have, that justice is served. For them to walk, for killers to walk away from justice is more painful than anything. Because it then means that, oh, their victims died in vain.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that the EFCC, DG, has chosen to do this. People can say whatever they like. What is important, the end justifies the means.
Absolutely.
What is important is let us see this case take off. Let's see this case get accelerated hearing. Let's see justice served in no distant time.
Okay. I mean, Charles, the DSS, they said they arraigned these suspects in pursuit of justice. But how well do you think the agency is going about this?
Well, first, as you said, a lot of people have been apprehensive. We just say it may have gone the way some people were mentioning. I remember somebody mentioned how about Kabiru Sokoto. We didn't hear anything about that again. The one in Mandala. Is it Mandala? Was it Mandala called that that place in in Niger State and all that. The same Catholic Church, remember that, what really happened? So, but you see, I say, what just happened now, 2022 to 25, that's about 3 years old. You know, when they said the long arm of the law, this is an example.
The will of justice.
Exactly. No, it may grant slowly, but the long arm of there was a documentary I watched about somebody who committed an offense in the U.S. It took 41 years to get that person arrested. 41 years after, but justice was served.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it doesn't matter the length of time. It doesn't matter how long it has taken. But again, justice is the ultimate in all this.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because if you do not dispense justice properly, there is the tendency that people would not, there's no fear in the system to say, okay, when such a thing happened, this is what happened to them. So it will serve as because you do this to serve as a deterrent to those who may have even the intent or whatever in their mind to want to also take the cue. So the DSS has started well. My own advice is that let the will of justice not grant too slowly. Because you have too many cases that are waiting, and then once you put them over there in detention, government is also losing money because you have to also be feeding them and doing sort of things. So we must do everything possible to ensure that the will of justice grants even faster than how it should be.
All right, so right about now, joining us via Zoom for more discussion on this issue is a lawyer, Mohammed Ngoshe. Mohammed Ngoshe, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right, so let's get to it. I mean, with regards to the allegations made by the counsel to the Owo 5 suspects, charged to court by the DSS, following a fundamental rights suit against the DSS, the service. How do you respond to this claim?
Thank you very much for having me. In the first place, the DSS is a service that is created by the statute, and it is created to serve a purpose. It has a responsibility to discharge. And the DSS is expected to discharge that responsibility according to the statute that created the DSS and in obedience to the rule of law. Once these two conditions are met, the service is under obligation to discharge its responsibility appropriately. For any action filed by a counsel in court to be used as a bar for the service to discharge its responsibility will amount to using the court process as an engine for fraud. And I think that is not what the enforcement of fundamental human rights application is intended to achieve. The service is statutorily obliged to investigate cases and act appropriately, whether to release the suspect after it has found out, after investigation, that the suspect has no case to answer, or take them to court as it was done in this case. Once these two conditions of operating under the rule of law and operating in accordance with the statute that established the service is met, I think there is no inhibition on what the service can do and cannot do. Having a enforcement of fundamental human rights case against the service does not bar the service from performing its statutory duty. And in fact, this service should be credited for obeying rule of law. If you remember, the service has paid a lot of court judgments, debts to claimants which were given by courts. And it has released a lot of suspects from custody because their investigations were found to be superfluous. I mean, the reason for arresting them were found to be superfluous and they were released. So I think the service has not done anything. If anything, the service should be commended for doing the right thing, for taking them to court.
Okay. Now, let's talk about what the DSS is doing currently. There were many Nigerians who thought that even people who make utterances capable of causing disaffection in the country should actually be arrested. And we see the DSS many times simply looking the other way. What, based on his mandate, what really should the DSS do in this kind of circumstances?
The circumstance where somebody is making utterances that is capable of what? Of
causing disaffection or even triggering bloodshed in the country.
Well, even the elementary definition of treason suggests that people should not be making malicious, passing malicious statements against the government just to cause disaffection among the populace. The whole essence of law and order is to have peace and tranquility in the society. If somebody comes up to make statements that is capable of causing disaffection, then it is squarely within the jurisdiction of the service to act appropriately. The only poser there should be whether they are acting in excess of what they are supposed to do, which I think is no in most cases or in all cases that I can remember. In that case, the service has done the right thing. The right thing is for the service to take action to make sure the current peace enjoyed in the country is not disturbed in any way.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mohammed Ngoshe. Mohammed Ngoshe, thank you so much for joining us on the show, Journalist Hangout.
God bless.
Okay, right about now, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. Still Journalist